All right, Mr. Wake. Ah, don't fall off. That would be bad. Over here. Whose boot is that?
The gas station was my best bet. They'd have a phone I could use. It looked like a long hike through the forest to get there.
There are cars moving. That car looks like it doesn't have a door. It looked like it was just a wrecked car model that was just driving down the street.
Damn.
It's a really expensive crash. Bummer. No flashlight. Poor car. Thing's gonna explode. I love this like really ominous music. The music is very Twin Peaks, that's for sure.
Hello?
Nothing here.
Hello? Is someone there? The loose sheets of paper were pages from a manuscript entitled Departure. That was the name I planned to use for the next novel I had never gotten started. I was named the author. I hadn't written it. I couldn't remember writing it. In the scene on the page, the hero was attacked by an axe murderer in the woods at night.
All right, so now we have different manuscript pages. Some of them are only available in nightmare mode, which is incredibly frustrating.
Departure by Alan Wake. The man turned to face me. His face was covered in shadows. It was hard to make him out in the darkness of the forest that surrounded us, but the axe he lifted was plain to see. It glistened with the blood of his victim. He grinned madly. The shadows were alive, distorting his features. It was a scene from a nightmare, but I was awake.
Alan Wake. So that's the other reason why I would have played on Nightmare mode had it been accessible in a new game. So I've beaten Alan Wake before, but obviously this is the remaster. If we were playing the original game, which I could theoretically still download and install, I could have accessed the developer menu, which is the debug menu, and enabled Nightmare mode / just played it because I have a completed save file.
Anybody
But
there? Please, I've been in an accident.
there was a reason why I went for the remastered version, and it has to do with some of the small changes to what is in the game, as well as just the higher quality FMVs and stuff. Hello, Blue. Welcome to the stream.
The lights up ahead were a good sign. Maybe I wouldn't have to hike all the way down to the gas station to find a phone.
Good sound design. Just looking around for coffee thermoses and manuscript pages and stuff. I want to get as many of them as possible. The manuscript pages are cool. They're not as cool as they are in Alan Wake 2, but they're cool.
Anybody there? Please, I've been in an accident.
That is actually a good smart thing to yell. Like, when you're trying to get help for something like that and you're like lost and disoriented, it is actually really, really good to warn people of like, I have been in an accident. I don't know what's happening.
You! There's been an accident. I need help. Listen, I need to...
Premium cabins for rent in...
Oh, hell.
Carl Stuckey.
Pleased
To meet you. Non-refundable reservation deposit required. Fair and square. Fair and
square.
That guy's dead.
The Taken stood before me. It was impossible to focus on it, as if it stood in a blind spot caused by a brain tumor and eye disease. It was bleeding shadows like ink underwater, like a cloud of blood from a shark bite. I was terrified. I squeezed the flashlight like my life depended on it, willing it to stop coming any closer. Suddenly something gave, and the light seemed to shine brighter.
I really like that the shadows, the Taken, the shaded, as the FBC calls them, just like bark NPC dialogue at you. It's very interesting.
Two birds in
I had to figure a way out of this. Any second now, and Stuckey would be knocking on the door with his axe like Nicholson in The Shining.
All right, so we got weapons. We get another weapon tutorial, which is kind of pointless.
during your
I wasn't about to open the door, as long as I was liable to catch an axe with my forehead.
latest thing. Incontestably proven health benefits let you kill with one stone. You can see the sights and keep those cholesterol levels down at the same time.
Yes.
Bright Falls Sheriff Station. How may I...
Hello? Hello?
You look here, wild and watery, Ama, the Finnish style lager. And here are the baddies.
My head pounded with a concussion. I'd never fired a gun outside a shooting range, and now I just killed someone. Or something. There were no bodies. They just disappeared. If I was dreaming, it felt real enough to make me sick.
I'm gonna look around for any other coffee coffee furnace or manuscript page. Go. Hey, what's this? Flare gun. Early flare gun. That's good.
Eerie hand-painted graffiti was revealed by my flashlight. Someone had hidden a chest of supplies near it.
Anything over here? I can't take the chainsaw, unfortunately.
The dark forest was the last place I wanted to go. But I had no choice. I had to get to the gas station.
So yeah, you get railroaded a little bit with the levels here. 3 shots, always enough. What's up here? Manuscript page.
Rose knew she had been gushing, but right now she didn't care. As far as she was concerned, her brief meeting with Alan Wake was literally the high point of her life. She watched as he got in the car with his wife. She was pretty, confident, at ease with Wake. Not like Rose. They were perfect for each other. She'd have given anything to be called their friend.
Rose is so sad. What a sad character. But knowing what she does in Alan Wake 2, she redeems herself, right? Don't let your dreams be dreams, Rose. Just live the life you want to live. If you want to rescue Alan, by God, rescue Alan.
What the hell was that? When I saw the river below, something uncoiled itself inside my head. I realized that I'd have to find a way across. I didn't even want to look at the water.
Really pretty, though. The one thing I will give this game in terms of its visuals, just like Alan Wake 2, it really gets the Pacific Northwest right. This is, in fact, what these areas look like. Like the coast of Oregon, the forests of Washington. This is what it looks like. Oh, Radium's here. Hey, Radium, welcome. You getting excited for MFF?
Barry Wheeler was bouncing off the walls. He jumped on a plane after his calls were ignored by both Al and Alice for several days. It could mean that they were both on a second honeymoon, but Barry didn't buy it. Al had been way too unstable for that, not sleeping, messed up. Barry had years of experience dealing with Alan Wake, and he couldn't ignore it. Something was wrong.
So even though a lot of these pages are missing, it doesn't necessarily mean that we missed them back there. They are all in pretty out of order configurations. So you just kind of have to go with it.
Stucky was still out there, in the dark, stalking me.
Radium says, doing some packing right now. I need to pack tomorrow. I have not packed yet. Packing for me is not particularly hard. I have to get the fursuits and stuff. Brewing is at reInvent right now. So he already has all of his stuff packed. So it's just my job to check the fursuits and bring my clothing. And I can pack pretty light. There we go. Okay. Caution. Proceed at your own risk. Oddbit says, I hope you guys stay safe on your travels and have fun. Yeah, it should be a good time. I have to do a lot of writing on the plane. But I'm gonna do. Keith and Stephanie and
was
I
broken. I had to make my way up some other way.
are all on the same flight. And they have literally the back row on the
I
plane,
couldn't stay here. There had to be a way to get up there.
but I can't take their seat, unfortunately. I can't switch with the person that was in their seat. It doesn't let me. But they're all the way in the back row next to the bathroom, and I'm like 6 or 7 rows up from them. I might see if I can trade on the plane, just to see. What's up here? But ultimately on the plane, all I'm gonna do,
Taken. They're taken.
the taken are filled with darkness. All I'm gonna do is write, so I don't really need to be near Keith or Stephanie. Right. Everything there. I got stuff to do. I got campaign stuff to plan. No, playing games is a full-time job, y'all. Ka knows it, Keith knows it, I know it. I work 4 jobs, and only 2 of them are content creation. Can't get up there from here.
The stairs were useless. I had to find something else to help me climb up there.
Oh, oops. I had the flare gun equipped. I'm gonna run up here real quick because I want to check that area that I didn't go explore. Or a coffee thermos or anything up here, maybe a manuscript page. Rats. All right. Wish I knew where all the manuscript pages were just to speed things up a little bit, but it's fine. They aren't super plot critical. They don't reveal nearly as much as like the extra files in Control or the manuscript pages in Alan Wake 2. Again, a lot of Alan Wake 1 feels like a tech demo in comparison. Like, here's an idea we have for a game. These are the different elements that would exist in it. You have collectibles, like a thermos, and manuscript pages, which sort of tell you things that might happen. But it never gets really deep. You can find caches, but it's like, not the other caches, not the cool cult stashes. Ow, I dodged into it. Man, the light effects in this game are crazy.
I heard them before I saw them, swooping down from the sky and screeching as they came. I spun around just as the cloud was upon me. For an instant, I stared into 100 dead eyes, black pearls glittering in the darkness. I raised the flashlight and the swarm exploded like fireworks. Feathers burned, turned into ash. I couldn't hear my scream above theirs.
The writing is like so bad, but also so good. It's like genuinely good.
With all this forestry equipment around, there had to be something I could use to reach the top.
All right, let's do this. Motherfucker. Move that log. Get your log on. Log on to Alan Wake 1. Log. All right, he made it. Oh, Narik's here. Hey, Narik, welcome. That's ammo. Anything else good in here for me?
Well, I was just outside for a breath of fresh air, and what a night. I know most of you are probably in your beds by now, but if you're still up and around, take a moment. Step outside for a spell and breathe in deep. The weather is absolutely still. The sky is crystal clear. It's like the forest is quietly breathing along with you. As you listeners know, I'm a night owl, and it's on nights like this I wish I wasn't cooped up in the studio. Makes an old man like me wish I could just roam wild. But here I am, and who'd keep you company all night long if I weren't? It looks like I'm not the only one staying up late. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, Pat, it's Maurice Horton.
Hello, Maurice. What are you?
Maurice?
Well, I was just taking Toby on his walkies.
Oh, isn't it beautiful out there?
Sure, but Pat, the reason I called is that Toby heard something rustling in the undergrowth and took off after it, and I couldn't find it.
Probably a rabbit.
Sure. Toby loves rabbits.
Well, sure.
Anyway, I figured that, if anyone runs into Toby, they could grab him. My number's on his collar.
And Toby's a friendly dog?
Toby loves people. Usually he comes back, but we were pretty far from home, and it sounds like he went pretty wild there. Great dog, but he's just too dumb for his own good.
Well, Maurice, it's out there now. Hope Toby comes home soon.
Yeah, thanks, Pat.
You have a good night now.
I like that. I like that like vibe of like friendly small town like howdy ho. You know what I mean? Like, oh well, I bet he'll come back. Like this just be optimistic. It's all right. Well, I hope y'all out there find the dog. Like it's such a fun vibe in comparison to some of the more edgy stuff that they could have leaned into. There you go. All right, pick all this stuff up. Now go. Okay. Manuscript page. Yay.
At first, I kept finding the pages as if by accident. The book I couldn't remember was either a terrible and true prophecy or an act of creation that had rewritten the world. I began to hunt the pages feverishly, for they held the answer to the mystery. With it, I could save myself. With it, I could save Alice.
I too would be looking for my wife. Alan Wake
The gas
joins
station was
horror
closer
game
now,
protagonists
its light welcoming in the darkness.
who are all looking for their wives.
The best dogs in the state.
Belly Burster is the best with no
Contest. Monster dog.
is second best. The famous dog is
Let's look around. There's another manuscript page all the way over there. There you are. You can't sneak up on me. God damn it, I can never dodge. Oh, oops. Well, killed one of them. They're all dead. So combat encounters in this game all kind of function the same. The second you kill the last one, it will always do that.
I stepped into the gas station's garage. It was dark and quiet. The place was a mess. It looked like someone trashed the place or that there'd been some kind of fight. Light spilled into the room through an open door at the back, and I made my way toward it. Without any warning, I was blinded by a bright light, An old portable TV on the shelf had come alive by itself. Impossibly, I could see myself on the screen, talking like a madman.
Raph says, edgier stuff like Stephen King. No, I don't mean like that. I think Stephen King actually like really tends to lean into the like coziness of small towns and like the inherent good within them, and like the optimism of them. That's usually how characters in those stories make it out. The thing that I'm thinking of is more just the fact that a lot of people who are inspired by things like Twin Peaks lean really heavily into the supernatural, the darker, and the like the brutalism of small towns in their underbellies and like what they hide. And it can be very easy to just get caught up in that without having any balance at all. Which is something that I think a lot of these stories have a bad habit of doing. They have a really bad habit of doing that. But this one generally avoids that. Pa says, you gotta have your Officer Andy. He's a whole damn town. Ouch. Like, Twin Peaks is a profoundly dark show, and it's a very, very good show. And I think it gets a lot of its best aspects from its willingness to go to interesting and very dark places. But, again, a lot of derivatives of that work will kind of miss how it makes that function, and then just sort of be like, well, we're gonna do grim dark town stuff too. It's only bad. The countryside is only bad. There's nothing good here. It's all bad. And that's just boring. It's one note. Radium says, King is very much about the good in small towns since he bases it on his upbringing in Maine. Yeah, and he does a really good job of capturing Maine. I mean, I've talked about it enough on stream. He's a nice guy. He was very nice to meet, but he's like very locally involved in like community stuff. He donates to a lot of community efforts. He teaches at Orono. Like, growing up, you couldn't go 5 feet without running into something that Stephen King was involved with in Maine. So just kind of neat. And he gets that warm kind of aspect of Maine towns down really well. Radium says, for sure, I hear from another friend, King is very personable. Yeah, I mean, he's just a normal dude. I met him at the grocery store growing up. Which is just like, I think I've told the story a few times, but he's just a nice guy. He's very humble. You know, most, super famous authors and stuff are, but, people who have their work known generally aren't actually jerks. But he's a cool dude. He's a very nice guy.
The cabin on Cauldron Lake? She asked. The sheriff looked at me suspiciously. The early morning light flooded through the office windows. I would probably never have gotten out of the woods alive without her help, but I couldn't tell her the truth of what I'd faced the previous night. She'd think I was lying or crazy. She'd lock me up, and she wouldn't help me find Alice.
Check over here for coffee. I don't think there is any. Yeah, there's not. A shotgun ammo, just what we want. More batteries also helps. This is the TV he mentioned. Night Springs.
It bestows immortality on those who advance it to elevate all of mankind. Newton, Einstein, Sagan, princes among men. But the price for such a legacy is steep indeed. In Night Springs. Tonight's episode, a quantum suicide. If our lives are already written, it would take a courageous man to change the script. Having called a press conference, Dr. Barclay Colvin is about to demonstrate that very courage.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, I am Dr. Barclay Colvin, and I'm glad so many of you could join me here at the Moorcock Institute. Tonight, I'm going to give a practical demonstration of the many worlds interpretation. As you can see, this is a loaded 9mm pistol. It shall be part of a thought experiment. And now, a real experiment, known as a quantum suicide.
Did he say suicide? Is that a real gun? He's kidding, right?
Please, stay calm. There is no risk. Observe what occurs when I place the weapon against my own forehead. Now, you might think this round is merely a dud. Not so. Observe the flower pot. And yet, I myself cannot be harmed with this gun. With each pull of the trigger, 2 new realities branch off. One in which the weapon didn't fire, and one where it did. With my machine here, I have ensured that this reality is always the former. I have bestowed upon myself quantum immortality. Under no circumstances can this gun kill me.
So wait. What you're saying is that every time you pull the trigger, in another reality, you die?
Yes, of course, but that's completely trivial. There's an infinite number of things that could happen at any moment, and they always do happen somewhere. The point is, this one thing did not happen here.
You're insane, Colvin.
Insane? Insane?
Hey, was this thing supposed to be plugged in? I stumbled on it.
You fools! Gaze upon quantum immortality.
Gasp.
Poor Dr. Colvin, felled by his own hubris or the ignorance of the masses. Perhaps he should have left the crate unopened, the decaying atom unobserved. Curiosity often kills the cat. In Night Springs.
Wow. Eat. I like the usage of the multimedia in these games. It's so good. And the way that like sets up other themes in these games is really neat. Where it's like, all right, we just get told about quantum immortality, of the consequences of our actions branching out against other multiple worlds, other places involving us, other not just realities, but other variations on us. And it's like, that's cool. All right, how is that going to play into this? The game just signposted that to us, made us actively think about this, right? Like, it shows it to us right before this boss battle, this first part of the game. So the question now becomes, how does that contextualize what we're doing? And that's neat. It's something we'll be thinking about as we continue to play the game.
Even with the engine takes hours to cool, dropping tools. Easy and fatal. Misplaced tool, forgotten needs, has destroyed the winter.
Bye.
Stucky's body vanished, leaving behind only a lifetime of nightmares to come, assuming I'd reached the lights of the gas station alive.
All right, so we took care of Stucky. What does that mean for the real Stucky, huh? What happened to him? The Taken are filled with darkness. Is he just screwed? Poor dude. I don't think I can do anything with it. Cute little battle arena, nothing special.
I recognized the parade float I had seen in Bright Falls when I first arrived with Alice.
Gasoline. Game is having an interesting time trying to scale up to this resolution. We're getting interesting artifacting. Wonder if playing native will fix that. Probably not.
After the insanity I had just experienced in the darkness, the lights of the gas station felt comforting, at least for a moment. The sane world reasserted itself.
Nothing back here. Manuscript page. Very fun.
Stucky spat on the garage floor and tried to shake the cobwebs from his head. Ever since the couple never showed to pick up the keys, things had been fuzzy. Something, a feeling, caught his attention. Stucky looked up and stared as his brain tried in vain to process the horror before him. He stumbled back, knocking over a can of oil. A black pool spread across the floor while he struggled for a brief moment, then let go as the unrelenting darkness engulfed him.
All right, hey, it looks like I got every single manuscript page that was available in chapter 1 outside of Nightmare difficulty. So that's cool. So bummed that some of them are locked to Nightmare and that you can't just play on Nightmare from the start, but need a float? Call the professionals. Your one-stop shop for stunning, high-quality floats. Great for all occasions. Deer Fest, Moose Fest. There's a Moose Fest? Any fest. Stop by our workshop to discuss your idea. Our floats are locally crafted in Watery by the Kalevala Knights Motorcycle Club. So again, I think these pieces were added to the remaster ahead of Alan Wake 2, which would make sense.
The Fest had been 2 weeks away when we arrived. If the day count on the banner was right, I was missing a whole week between the night we got here and now.
So Alan lost a week, where he ostensibly spent it writing this spooky manuscript. Interesting. Very interesting. Dude. Take a hint. Obviously, there's going to be a thermos down here. You give me a big dead end to walk down towards? Yeah, zero chance. Zero chance enemies aren't going to pop up and there isn't going to be a reward at the end. Cauldron Lake Campgrounds. I think these used to be Verizon ads, and I think they used to be ads for actual things like product placement in the originals. One of the DLCs for this game was basically glorified product placement. It was called The Signal, and it had a bunch of Verizon advertising in it. Stay in our country cabins or bear-free campsites. Enjoy Sunny Lake Shore. Visit the Haunted Witch's Ladle. Yeah, this for sure was added in for Alan Wake 2. It's way too on the nose for it not to have been. Oops. There we go.
I had to get inside the gas station to find a phone to call for help.
Anything down this way? I think I do need to go that way eventually. Let's check down there before we go inside the gas station, though. Just for posterity. That's the sound of enemies spawning. Big car accident. Bummerino for them. There we go. And I just wanted to come down here to check. Thank God there isn't a kill plane right here. I would have been really bummed. Ouch. Oh my God. Oh, we just gotta run. So I'm out of those bullets. The lighting in this game is just so moody and strange. I like it a lot. Ow, fuck, dude, stop throwing stuff at me. It's so rude. Ow! Do not kill me. What's the purpose of ammo if you don't use it, right? Here we are, back at the gas station. Goody. Go stand underneath the light over here, get our health back. Fearfest sign. We'll go into the store.
The garage was a mess. It looked like someone had trashed the place, or that there'd been some kind of fight.
All right. I'll keep writing. Outside, there's only darkness. Outside the cabin, outside the story, there's only darkness. I can feel her presence in the dark. Just now, I could smell her perfume in the room. I'll reach her. I'll fix it up. I'll bring her back. The story will come true. If I stop, she's lost.
I don't believe this. It'd been me on the TV, talking crazy. Was I losing my mind?
Oh yeah, you can switch which side you look over. A lot of games let you do that, but I totally forgot about that. 68th Annual Deer Fest, September 15th to 18th. Games and activities, raffle tickets, fishing competition, pie contest, and surprise competitions. Live music for the children, Bucktooth Charlie afternoons, and Montgomery, the Mystics, Amazing Phantasmagoria evenings. Don't miss a legendary Deer Fest parade. Look, it's Alma Beer. That's cute. We like that. Or ammo.
Bright Falls Sheriff Station.
Oh, thank God, Sheriff.
Sheriff Sarah Breaker. You are...
I'm Alan Wake, but listen. I was in a car crash. My wife, Alice, she's missing.
Calm down, Mr. Wake.
We were staying in a cabin on the island, on Cauldron Lake.
There's no island on Cauldron Lake. Not since the big eruption in the 70s.
Please, I can take you there, okay?
You look like you've taken a pretty bad knock to the head. Are you okay?
Listen.
We'll figure this out. Please get in the car. We'll swing by the lake and then we'll go to the station, okay? Mr. Wake, have you seen Stucky, the guy who owns this place?
I realized I couldn't tell her what had happened in the forest. She wouldn't have believed me. And then she wouldn't have helped me with Alice.
Spooky, ominous. And look, there is no cabin on the lake. So shocking.